Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Intermediate. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the program. Welcome to the intermediate portion here of today's class. That is class number 172. And as always, we'll start with a review of yesterday's material. We were looking at something interesting yesterday, which was, isn't that always the case, really? It's always good here, isn't it? But yesterday we were looking at the verb to have. But we compared the ever-controversial have versus have got. I have a pen. I've got a pen. I have a book. I've got a book. Do you have a pencil? Have you got a pencil? Yeah, they're the same. They're the same, ladies and gentlemen. We can say it either way, but personally, I encourage the simple form, I have a book. I have a watch. I have a pair of pants. My brother has a job in Holland. He doesn't have a job in China. I have a pen. I have a bicycle. I don't have a car. It's very simple. Here, the verb to have is behaving like every other verb in the English language, in that when we want to ask a question, we need an auxiliary verb. Every verb except for the verb to be. Okay? So here, this is easy to remember, and if you always use this, you won't make a mistake. So it sounds good, right? No problem? But the thing is, you will hear people use the have got form. I've got some problems. I have some problems. It's the same, but it is good to practice and be aware of the structures. But now, the reason why I like the simple have form is that it works in every tense. Okay? You can use it in absolutely every case. The thing is, for example, when we change to the past, we have to use this first structure. We say, for example, in the negative, I didn't have a book. You can't say, I hadn't a book. No. You can't say, had you got a book? No. Did you have a book? Okay? So here it's behaving like any other verb. Did you hear the song? Did you have a book? Did you eat in the restaurant? Did you have a good time? You can't say, had you a good time? So here, it's behaving like every other verb. Okay? But it is good to be aware of this have got structure. So let's practice by changing from the simple form into the have got form. All right? So here, she has a great car. And in the have got form, she's got a great car. David has a new computer. David has got a new computer. We can contract it. David's got a new computer. I think Fitz has a new apartment. I think Fitz has got a new apartment. My mother has a sweater just like yours. My mother's got a sweater just like yours. Natasha has a cat named Snowflake. There's Snowflake, yes. Natasha has a cat named Snowflake. Natasha's got a cat named Snowflake. We have a lot of time left. Of course we do. We've got a lot of time left. We've got a lot of time left. Sure. So remember the simple structure here in the affirmative. I have, I've got. You have, you've got. He has, he's got. She has, she's got. It has, it's got. We have, we've got. You have, you've got. They have, they've got. Now in the negative, I don't have. I haven't got. You don't have. You haven't got. He doesn't have. He hasn't got. She doesn't have. She hasn't got. It doesn't have. It hasn't got. Yes, I've got a car and it hasn't got any windows. For example. It hasn't got a very good stereo system. It doesn't have a very good stereo system. It's the same thing. We don't have, we haven't got. You don't have, you haven't got. They don't have, they haven't got. Now in the interrogative, do I have? Have I got a strange accent? Do I have a strange accent? I don't think so. I don't think I have a strange accent. I don't think I've got a strange accent. Do you have? Do you have a house on the coast? Have you got a house on the coast? It's the same. Does she have an apartment in the center? Has she got an apartment in the center? Does it have big windows? Has it got big windows? Do we have time for more examples? Have we got time for more examples? Do you have English classes every day? Have you got English classes every day? Do they have a cat? Have they got a cat? All right. Very good. No problem, right? Very simple. Piece of cake. Pan comido. Piece of cake. All right. Let's move on now and take a look at the other thing we saw. Here we were practicing with questions. Here, very interesting, questions where we don't use an auxiliary verb. I just said have, behaving normally where we add the auxiliary verb in the question, but there are cases when we don't need the auxiliary verb. We call these subject questions. Us English teachers, we call these subject questions. That is, we're essentially asking for the subject. Who broke the window? Ooh, who broke the window? Oh, who broke the window? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Who broke the window? It wasn't me. Ask me the question, okay? This is my favorite exercise. I give you the answer and you ask me the question that I've answered. John broke the lamp. So the question, who broke the lamp? Stephen called the police. Who called the police? His basketball skills made Michael Jordan special. What made Michael Jordan special? Yeah, it was his basketball skills. Yeah. What made him special? His basketball skills. A spark from the power source caused the fire. What caused the fire? What caused the fire? The baby. The baby made a lot of noise. The baby made a lot of noise. What made a lot of noise? Oh, the baby. Or I could say, really, who, if it's definitely made by a person. Who made the noise? All right, let's try a few more. Ask me a few questions. Ask me who ordered the fish. Kyle, who ordered the fish? Oh, Fitz ordered the fish. Ask me who found the new version more useful. Kyle, who found the new version more useful? Richard found the new version more useful. Ask me what happened next. Kyle, what happened next? Well, next we moved on to the word of the day. Just like today. Let's do it. Let's move on now to our word of the day. I think you're ready. I think we've practiced with what and who enough, these special questions. These subject questions, yes, no problem, right? Piece of cake, pan comido, piece of cake. Let's move on now to our word of the day. Word of the day. ¿Qué pasa? Yeah, that's right. Our word of the day is ¿Qué pasa? What's the matter? Oh, what's the matter? What's wrong? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What's the matter? What's wrong? What's the matter? What's the matter? Now, this is not, ¿Qué pasa, hombre? ¿Qué tal? No, it's not like that. It's, ¿Qué pasa? Oh, ¿Qué pasa? I can see that you're upset. You're angry. You don't look good. ¿Qué pasa? What's wrong? Is there anything I can do about it? What's wrong? What's the matter? What's the matter? Now, I know I say word of the day, we have what's the matter, but it's more like an expression of the day today, I suppose. What's the matter? ¿Qué pasa? I hope nothing's wrong. So we often ask that structure, what's the matter? Please don't say, what happened? I hear that all the time. What happened? No. From my Spanish students, but no. What's the matter? She's crying. What's the matter? Okay. So now we can move on into class number 172, and we're practicing with the word to, or as well. So I'm talking about también, also, right? Other ways of saying also, to, as well, yeah. I was born in Canada. My brother was born in Canada too. My brother was born in Canada also. He was also born in Canada. We asked for help with the problem, and so did they. You can say, we asked for help with the problem, and they did too. So to goes at the end, okay? We asked for help with the problem, and they did too. We asked for help with the problem, and they did as well. I bought a new car, and so did she. I bought a new car, and she did too. I bought a new car, and she did too. We drove to Montreal, and so did they. We drove to Montreal, and they did too. Fitz was working in the office that day, and so was Natasha. Fitz was working in the office that day, and Natasha was too. Fitz was working in the office, and Natasha was as well. Okay? I was on the radio yesterday, and so was Layla. Kyle, you were on the radio yesterday, and Layla was too. Yeah, with her kids' show. Richard spoke about the project, and so did David. Richard spoke about the project, and David did too. And so did David. David talked about it as well. So we're putting as well at the end. Ella pidió un postre y también pidió un café, como yo. She ordered a dessert, and she ordered a coffee as well. She ordered a coffee too. Yeah, she ordered a dessert, and she ordered a coffee too. She ordered a coffee as well. I never really drank much coffee until I came to Spain, but I love Spanish coffee. Whenever I get a menu of the day, I usually get a cup of coffee. It's nice. I like Spanish coffee. It's very good. I bought the sofa, and I brought it home as well, myself, yeah. So you can say, well, Kyle bought the sofa and brought it home too. He brought it home as well. Yeah, he had to use he had to borrow a card and bring it home himself because I don't have as you know, if you listen to my shows regularly, you'll know that I don't have a car. Yeah, sometimes I borrow cars if I have to move things like a sofa. So I bought the sofa, and I brought it home too. Brought it home myself. Right? I brought it home as well, we could say. So other ways of saying también. This is reviewed. This is covered very well. We're very well explained in your student guide. So be sure to follow along in the student guide and enjoy those explanations. It will also be covered today on Aprende Inglés television, as always. And I'll talk about it tomorrow on the radio. In case you missed any of that, I'll review it again tomorrow on the radio. Let's move on now and take a look at our vocabulary of the day. Vocabulary of the day. All right, it is time for the vocabulary of the day. Our 5 words of vocabulary. Diminuto, muy pequeño. We say tiny, tiny, very small, tiny, I like ojo. Not teeny, no, tiny, tiny, I de ojo, tiny, tiny, diminuto. Estar familiarizado con. To be familiar with. Not familiarizando, becoming familiar with, but no, to be familiar with. Are you familiar with this show? If you listen every day, I'm sure you're familiar with it by now. Disparar. Disparar, to shoot. Oh, yes, there it is. To shoot. Disparar. Tratar. Tratar, to treat. To treat. Yes. They treat me well here. I try to treat the listeners well. I try to treat everyone. I treat all my students with respect. And as a result, they treat me with respect. Yes. I think it's important to treat everyone with respect. Cartera, billetero. This is a wallet. Wallet. W-A-L-L-E-T, but not wallet. No, wallet. Wallet. I have a wallet. I keep my wallet in my pocket at all times. Yes. I keep my wallet in my pocket at all times. I have a fat wallet, I'll acknowledge. I have a lot of things in my wallet. When I take out my wallet, people think, ooh, you must have a lot of money, Kyle. But no. It's not money. I keep a lot of cards and a lot of junk in my wallet. I think I've said it before. I'm a bit of a pack rat. A pack rat. Someone who keeps everything. Sometimes I really should clean up some things and throw a lot of things in the garbage because I am a bit of a pack rat. I keep a lot of things. Yes. A lot of things in my wallet, for example. Wallet. All right, now the very last thing we're going to look at today is the phrasal verb to grow up. To grow up. Criarse. Hacerse mayor. To grow up en el sentido de convertirse en adulto. So, I grew up in Canada. I grew up in a small town. I was raised by my parents. My parents raised me. I was raised in a small town. I grew up. See, my parents raised me. I grew up. So they raised me. That's a transitive verb. They raised me. I grew up. Intransitive verb. I grew up in a small town in Canada. I didn't grow up in a city. I grew up in a small town. And I liked my town. I still go back there. My hometown, the hometown is the town that you grew up in, the town that you spent the majority of your youth in is what we call your hometown. And we say, when someone says, where are you from? In English, we typically say, we're from the town that we grew up in. Because I was born in a town called Digby. But if someone says, where are you from? I won't say Digby. Because I moved away from Digby when I was 1 year old. I moved to a town called Liverpool. That's right, Liverpool, Canada. And I grew up there. I lived there until I was 18. So if someone says, where are you from? I'll say, I'm from Liverpool. I'm not from Digby. I was born in Digby, but I'm from Liverpool because I grew up there. So to grow up is our phrasal verb, and the last thing we have time to look at today. So I want to finish there. I want to encourage you to keep studying, keep working hard, keep taking advantage of the materials, and keep listening. And thank you very much for listening today. I'm going to take a break. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. As always, my name is Kyle. Please be sure to join me again tomorrow for more. I've got lots to talk about. Another great class coming up. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back in a few minutes with the advanced portion of today's class. See you soon. Bye-bye.